is Helen, the Hypno Guru, and
I'm Coach Christian.
And today we thought that we would talk about the 5 love languages. So when we first got together, Christian bought the 5 love languages by Gary Chapman, and it has been magnificent in terms of one of the techniques and the tools that we use every single day. So do you want to talk about what the 5 languages are?
Absolutely. They're categorized into 5 different topics. Number 1 being physical touch. Another one is words of affirmation. Then we have some acts of service, then quality time, and then receiving gifts.
Okay, so what those 5 love languages are is we're all different in terms of how we want to receive love. And it's so important that you know what your partner's preference is in terms of how they want to receive love. Why do we need to know that? Because we're all different. And in order to keep each other happy, we need to know what is their love language. And so what happens when you do this quiz that Gary Chapman created is that you work out what your love languages are. And we found...
well, we've got a couple of similarities, which is kind of convenient and probably explains why we have a good relationship, because both of our key number 1 love languages are synchronized, so we're on the same page when it comes to our number 1 love language, and that is...
The first love language that we both have as our primary love language is physical affection.
Physical affection.
And that's important, right? Because
very important.
It's important to us. So we need to show physical affection to each other. So if you have a partner whose number 1 language is physical affection, that means that public displays of affection is important. That means that you need to show your partner affection. And so it's not about what do you prefer, it's what makes your partner happy. And so that was one that we both shared. And then interestingly enough, our second love language, because the top 2 is what you need to focus on, the top 2 love languages, the second one was different. So for Christian, it was?
Mine is words of affirmation, and for Helen, it is acts of service. So basically, Helen likes it when I do jobs for her. That's what acts of service really means. But the key is it doesn't have to be grandiose, massive gestures all the time. Acts of service can be quite small things throughout the day. But I do know that having done this quiz, that in terms of Helen's values, this is really quite important. And the good thing for me is that that also synchronizes with my second level, which is...
Your second level is words of affirmation. So like Christian said, my second love language is acts of service, which means when I really value when he does things for me. So it could be that he brings a cup of tea into bed when I'm feeling a little bit tired. It could be that he does a job around the house. It might be something like folding the clothes, and it might take 5 minutes, but just that gesture of folding the clothes when I haven't asked him to do that means so much to me. And so similarly, because I know that his love language is words of affirmation, I've got to make sure that I actually say, oh, thank you. I'm so appreciate that you did that for me. I really am. And that makes him feel good. And so it's so important to find out what your partner's love language is. And we'll go through the other ones as well. So like we said, our number 1 was physical touch. And that means that that person wants to, physical affection is really, really important to them. Number 2, mine was acts of service. That means I like people doing things for me, especially my partner, doing little jobs for me, doing big jobs for me, makes me really happy. This morning, for instance, he got up and cleaned the garage. I can't tell you how happy that's made me, that he's cleaned the garage. That's thrilled me. I'm like, oh my God. He did that first thing this morning before the day even started.
And then Helen said to me, wow, what a good job you did. I'm so happy that you got the garage clean. And she made me lots of praise, which was really just a basic job of tidying up the garage. But because she went out of her way to praise me for it and give me those words of affirmation, then I felt pretty good about it too. So it becomes a bit of a cycle, and it becomes a bit of a revolving door.
Exactly. That's right. And so sometimes, we forget as to what is our partner's love language. We read these things and they're just techniques and we think, oh, that's interesting, and we leave it. What we do is with everything that we read, and we do hear a lot of podcasts, we do a lot of reading, we've Christian's bought every relationship book under the sun. And we apply it. We apply everything that we've learned, because the way that we see it is that we want the ultimate relationship, and the ultimate relationship means you've got to work it. Yes, we love each other, but you've got to work it. You've got to make sure that you do these things. And the other ones in terms of the love languages are quality time. So that means if your partner loves quality time, it means no matter how busy you are in your day, no matter how busy, you need to make sure that you have 5 minutes, the phone's off, every other distraction is off, and you're relating in a very personal way, finding out how their day is, how they feel emotionally, how they feel mentally, how they feel physically, and just to really connect with each other on that level. Did you want to say anything about quality time?
No, I think you covered that pretty well. But the next one is receiving gifts. And that's a pretty important one for some people. It doesn't factor in our relationship. And I learned that one the hard way. When I went out of my way and I bought Helen some really nice Christian Louboutin shoes. They cost me a small fortune. And Helen didn't really appreciate them, to be honest. And I learned very quickly that going out of my way and doing expensive gifts, we really weren't talking each other's love language. For me, it doesn't do anything for me. I don't really like receiving gifts, to be honest. If anything, I get a bit embarrassed, or I feel like it's always too much. And gifts for me just don't rock my boat. I'm not interested in gifts. And then similarly, I guess I was always thinking along traditional lines that I should go out of my way for a big occasion like a birthday and really splurge on a big gift. But once I learned that Helen doesn't really value gifts either, we kind of thought we're wasting our time. So when it comes to occasions like birthdays or any time that we get to spend to celebrate, gifts are not our focus. We focus more back on what's really important for us, which is more all about some of the things that we've already spoken about. Gifts for us don't really factor. They may for you, and that's fine. And they may for your partner, that's probably more important. But, if it's no point wasting a lot of time and energy, money and effort into these things, if it's just not the language, if it's not your partner's language, then you're really like those Christian Louboutins, you're just wasting your time and they're getting dusty up in the cupboard. So,
that's right. So, here's Christian who thought that he's going to go and get something that I really love. But in fact, all I thought was, that was a bit of a waste of money. And, I'm not really a stiletto kind of person anyway. So, yeah, gifts don't do it for me. But if he cleans the garage, I can't tell you how happy that makes me feel. So that's why it's important that you know each other's love language. So I really recommend that you get Gary Chapman's The 5 Love Languages. It's a simple quiz. You do it, your partner does it, and then find out what kind of activities fall under those love languages and then do it. It's not something that you just do 1 week and you go, that was fun, and then forget about it. With every technique that we learn, it becomes a part of our daily rituals and our daily practice, so that we make sure that no matter what, we will never take each other for granted, because we work it. We're always thinking about what do I need to do so that my partner feels valued, that my partner feels significant, and most importantly, that my partner feels loved.
Absolutely. And like a lot of things in all areas of our life, you can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you don't apply that knowledge, then you may as well not have the knowledge. That's the way I look at it. But it works if you work it.
Exactly. So I hope that's been helpful. Last time Christian and I did a video together, we got so much feedback. And so if you do want us to continue this, because we really love giving these sort of videos, just let us know what you'd be interested in. We're happy to talk about absolutely anything. Anything. It could be about relationships, might be about hypnotherapy, it might be about anything that's going on. So just let us know by putting the comment below that you would like us to talk about this stuff and any kind of topic that you want us to cover, and we would be more than happy to do that. All right.
Excellent.
Okay. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.